Lori, Nate Eaton with East Idaho News. Can you tell me where your kids are? Where are your kids?
No comment.
No comment? They've been missing for 4 months. You have nothing to say? You're over here in Hawaii?
Unbelievable. There he is, Nate Eaton from East Idaho News, tracking down the doomsday couple in Hawaii while Lori's children are missing, and everyone is looking for her children, and she's hanging out with her new man, her new husband, Chad Daybell. Unbelievable. Well, Hawaii was front and center inside the courtroom in Boise, Idaho today. By the way, that's where they got married. They got married. Could you imagine that they're smiling in these photos with 2 dead spouses and 2 dead children buried in their backyard? And they just couldn't be happier, dressed in all white with the outfits that they were picking out before Chad's wife passed away. Also today, the jury got to see video of Lori being served with papers poolside with Chad as they're waiting to lead the $144,000. Let's take a look.
Hi. Come on. Are you Chad and Lori? There. It's Vallow, you can start. Do you have any questions regarding that? So it is 14:39 hours on January 25th. Any questions? You have any questions for them? No? Okay. All right, have a nice day. Have a nice day.
They were in Hawaii getting away from the plague in Rexburg, Idaho, that was sweeping across as investigators started asking questions. Also today, we got to see some of the items that were seized from the rental car and the condo down in Hawaii. Take a look.
No, that's the overall, the front of the vehicle that was seized. It's a rental vehicle that Chad and Lori were in. It's an initial view of the front door driver's side and Lori Vallow's purse on the seat. There was a cell phone in the side pocket, and there was a debit card with a BBVA Compass debit card with the name of Tylee Ryan on it. It's a Hawaii Robin Ruth handbag. That's overall of some of the contents that were in the bag. In this one, there's 2 Apple laptops or iPads, a manila envelope, and a folder, and a Visions of Glory book. Another iPad in a black OtterBox, JJ written in red. That is death certificate for Leland Charles Anthony Vallow. 2 Social Security cards, one with Joshua Vallow and one with Tylee Ryan. There's I believe at the top left-hand corner is a live birth certificate for Tylee Ryan, envelope with U.S. currency in the backpack. All total, there was $10,500.
$10,500. That's the bag of money. I've been talking about it for years. Today we got to see it. They're walking around Hawaii with the bag of money. Let's bring back in our think tank, Eklund Mercy, Kirk Nurmi, Nima Rahmani. Kirk, you know, the plague was coming in Rexburg, the plague, all these police asking questions. So they fled down to Hawaii, but got tracked down. And guess what? They got a bag of money. This is how they make money. When people die, they make money. You know, the Social Security payments that the kids were getting for the deaths of their fathers. Also, the insurance money for Tammy's death. And they're just having a ball down there.
Yeah, it certainly discloses the depth of the depravity here, right? I mean, you should saw them smiling on the beach. She's searching for the wedding garb and the rings, shortly after the death, and you know, she's got her kids' possessions and what have you, and she's a childless couple looking for housing in Hawaii. That really shows how much they just did not care. They were acting with impunity here and smiling on the beach and going about their lives. It just, the deaths did not matter to them. It did not faze them. I mean, we look at these pictures now and I think about what she said at her sentencing, right? This stuff about how they're happy now and they're busy and they're, you know, they're okay. And it gives a different level of depravity to the whole thing.
All right, we only have about 30 seconds here, but Nima, at an Italian wedding, the bride walks around with the bag and you get the money. But this wasn't an Italian wedding. There were 3 of them there down in Hawaii. What's going on here?
Vinny, I remember this. This was during the pandemic. We were shut down. You were in your basement. I was home. We were covering this. So, yeah, I mean, this is terrible stuff. You know, you got JJ's iPad. You got Tylee's debit card. The money, the financial paper trail, Vinny. This is very bad for Chad Daybell. He's going to be convicted very quickly in this case.
It's a bad look. Eklund, we have about 10 seconds.
Get a divorce. Instead of trying to plan a murder, just get divorces. I swear the cost-benefit analysis, instead of trying to take out your partner, just get a divorce. I promise you, it'll be cheaper. Whatever money you're thinking you're about to spend in this insurance, just get the divorce. Get the divorce.
Absolutely.
Please. I am tired of these things. Get the divorce.
All right, stay where you are, folks. Up next.
It was DNA day inside the courtroom. Can prosecutors tie Chad Daybell to the death of JJ Vallow? We'll take a look.
One of the most successful true crime TV shows ever.
This is crazy.
Now has a new home on America's original true crime obsession, 48 Hours on Court TV. Coming up next on Court TV.
It's a controversial case that's divided a community.
Karen Reed is accused of murdering her police officer boyfriend. Will the truth finally be revealed?
The Killer or Cover-Up Murder Trial. Weekday mornings, only on Court TV.
This partial DNA profile matches the DNA profile provided by Lori Vallow Daybell. The probability of randomly selecting an unrelated individual with this partial DNA profile is at least 1 in 71 billion in the U.S. population.
This was, to your knowledge, a hair collected from black bags wrapped around JJ Vallow?
Yes.
Connecting DNA to Lori Daybell. That was part of the evidence used against her, and when the jury heard it again today, but it's connecting to Lori Daybell. So how are they connecting the DNA to the deaths of JJ and Tylee for Chad Daybell? Take a listen.
And now on the 18 tools that you tested, how many of those had Mr. Daybell's DNA on them?
None of the stains or material I tested had Chad Daybell's DNA.
And when you did that, at no time on the shafts of these handles or even on the blades of these handles, did you ever find any of Mr. Daybell's DNA? Is that correct?
I did not run those samples for DNA, but nothing I did run for DNA had Chad Daybell's DNA on it.
Let's bring back in the think tank. Nima Romani, is this a problem for prosecutors?
I don't think so, Vinny. They're buried in the backyard. This is the pet cemetery, right? Chad is texting about it. So look at the fact that there's not DNA on those particular tools. We know that JJ and Tylee's DNA was on it, and Lori's hair was in that grave. And guess who took off when law enforcement was searching in that area? Chad Daybell. I think they have plenty to convict in this case, Vinny.
Eklund, do you see any opening here for the defense on this issue?
I do. I think that Chad was the bigger narcissist. I think that they both were apex predators. I think that they both ran game on their families and they came together. I think that Chad had to prepare because I think that he knew that Lori probably had a potential to set him up or even kill him like he killed the ex-husbands. And I think he set a trap. I think we're going to find out what did he do to kind of secure this not guilty. I would not put it past him. I think that he's prepared, especially having Lori's trial and being able to sit down and hear what prosecutors have. They can really just play in the gray areas and probably be able to get an acquittal. I don't know if it's going to happen, but it all depends on how Chad plays this.
Kirk?
I got to disagree with that, Glenn. I don't think this helps, and agree with Nima. I don't think this helps Chad a lot when it comes to guilt or innocence. But remember, this case just isn't about guilt or innocence. This is about life or death, right? And when we talk about that culpability, what we might call in the death penalty world residual doubt, there definitely could be some of that there. Is Chad really driving the bus here? You combine that with some of the other searches and about wedding garb and places to live and things like that Lori is tied to. It kind of looks like Lori is kind of driving the bus here. And we know her and Alex were involved in the killing of Lori's husband, Mr. Vallow. So when it comes to life or death, this certainly, I think, helps Chad Daybell.
Big thank you tonight to our guests, Eklund Mercy, Kirk Nurmi, and Nima Rahmani. Great to have your insight, your passion, and your expertise. And we'll see you again really, really soon.